Anybody out there? Thank you, one viewer. I'm just finishing up the setting up here. Oh, I guess I should mute myself. Oh, I'm backwards. I need to turn this around. Wait a minute. Now I'm confused. Is that mirrored? I guess it's not mirrored. Okay. So we're looking at the real thing. This is not mirrored, obviously. I don't think. Oh, and by the way, that's a painting that I just did. And yes, you can buy it. I'm still working on it a little bit. Several versions of it. This is the way I always work. I took some, you know, I like to, I want it to be bright like that, but I want it to be realistic. So the teal color, and we can talk about that, but I got to share my screen with you so I can show it to you. I did test some music out to see if I could do that with StreamYard. And because I just did that, I don't have the other thing ready yet. I have to, I like to share the screen. That way I can pull out pictures and everything. But unfortunately, if I want that music to play, it's got to share the Chrome browser or the tab, I guess. I'm not really sure. And it's so much trouble. Let me just go ahead and share that now while we're talking. And let me share the screen. And let's enlarge it so I know which screen I'm sharing. There we go. And add it to the stage, right? Oops, I got to add it to the stage. There it is. Okay, great. And yeah, the Richat structure, I've been looking at it for a long time. And if you don't know, I'm an artist. Take a look at my website to see my other work, davidstighansen.com. Do consider giving to my GoFundMe, which is right down below. I'm going to actually post that. That's one thing I forgot to do in the stream, in the live stream, since I only have one viewer, or two now, 2 viewers. I had 4, but they just disappeared. Do support this GoFundMe trip. And that should go right here. Let me put it, well, how do I do it? Let me put it like this. This is the video. I think I could just paste it right here for you. And I don't know if I have a place for comments down here yet. Anyways, I don't really want to do that in front of you like that, but I do want to share it. Please consider donating. I don't need all these $100 donations. Oh, gosh. How inconvenient are they? No, I'm just joking. I'll take them. But I really wanted more people. So I did have a second prize for the person with the lowest. The lowest. Who can go lowest? Now, I did paint this from a, I like landscapes that I see on TV a lot. So this came from, let's just say it came from a sitcom, no laugh track. And if you don't know what this is actually from the sitcom itself, if you can guess that, and you've also given me a donation. No, the lowest donation gets the prize. That's kind of weird, isn't it? I'll think about that one, but I really should do something like that. That way it would encourage more people to donate $5 in the GoFundMe that's in the chat. There's the chat. There's the GoFundMe. But let's not waste any more time trying to sell paintings. This is a little too dark. I do have a picture of this painting, how I had it. Where's that at? How I had it yesterday. And I can talk about the changes I made in the painting already. So first of all, I didn't want that black line to be so dark. So I'm trying to catch up with it, but I don't want it to be unrealistic. So I put the green back in so I can put the beige back on top of it. Also, you might notice it's a lot darker. Wait, is this on the stage? Yeah, there it is. It's a lot darker. I had a signature there, and it's the thumbnail. And I like it. You know, for me, I could look at this, but there's a couple of changes I wanted to make. I wanted to put the teal more prominent and then the beige back on top of it. And we'll talk about why. You can see my other paintings on my website. I love landscapes. I love portraits. If I do this again, I'm going to do the whole eye. And I might cheat a little bit, use artistic license. But what I wanted to start with was just the big Richat structure itself. And I have it about here from top to bottom. The width is a little wider here than it is in the painting. For example, I didn't have room for the donut. And I want to put that in there. So here's the thing. The closer you get, the more detail you can add, right? And so that's where the question is like, do I really want to start putting all these trees in there? I do want to put a few trees in the painting. But I'm doing the foundation first before I do the fine detail. And that's another reason why I moved it behind me. Number one, so you can see the changes over the next, I don't know, I'll probably be doing a little more detail on that cliff. And then, like I said, this teal area, that area is going to get a little bit more beige added on top of it. But wait a minute. Let's take a look at the Richat structure itself and what we've got. If you can just take a quick look. If you see it, you can barely see the shoreline cliffs over on the north side here. It's very difficult to see that from this photo. So I had to use a bunch of different images. And the details that I want to put in now are just one or two brush strokes at a time. So it's not like I'm where I was in the other room with a freaking mop doing the whole canvas. You know, getting this thing, because this is a loose canvas. If someone buys this off me, I'll roll it up and send it directly to you. I won't stretch it. You have to buy it unstretched. And of course, it's not finished yet, but if you really want to reserve this for yourself, it has to not include shipping, but I'd take $500 just because I haven't put that much work into it. If I keep working on it and get it to a more where I'm happier putting it on my wall, then I'm going to go up to like $1,000 for sure. Let's talk about the Richat structure. Look at this picture here. It's a lot different from what you see behind me, isn't it? And the funny thing about it is mirrored here. What I'm looking at on the screen is mirrored. I don't know why. When my picture, when I look to the right, I can see this area here is not the same as it over here on the screen. How do I put it over here with the mouse? That is right here. There's an angle here that I'll just talk about. And as you can see, it's not straight. Here, it's just totally straight, right? So I'm going to have to get in there with a fine brush if it's going to be $1,000 painting and really work hard on that and match the colors a lot better. Right now, it's just kind of a pop art version, you know, like Andy Warhol or something like that. Not a lot of detail in it. And it's tough because as you get closer, there's more detail the closer you get. Like, I really would love to get this part perfect right here. The places I've been, you know, put the castle in there. That's going to be quite difficult, but it's going to separate it from being a cheap $500 painting. These are real works of art. They're original art. This is not digitally created. This is my eyes putting the paint on the canvas. And so for me to get in there and do this, it's going to be really tough at this scale, right? So I'm never going to get that castle in there. It disappears right there. And this thing right here, the middle, you know, you can see it's a lot smaller than what's on the screen right now. Anyways, enough about that. But let's take a look. One thing, this basin is blue and teal and purple. Okay, why? Well, at first I thought it was because it came off these cliffs like that. But now I'm not so sure because the cliffs are not blue and purple. But you can see kind of here at this north side how as the water and erosion has pulled those materials down. I don't know, is the blue underneath it? So when we look at the geological studies of the Richat structure, they give you a whole list of different types of sandstone, and there's like 3 or 4 different kinds, and there's not many different ones. By the way, how do I sound? Is anybody out there? Can I hear my voice? Let me just hear my voice real quick. That sounds good enough. I don't know how high the volume is. Now, the next part of this is the title of this video, the Richat structure and its, what does it say? Lost civilization. Let me get that out of here. Put that over there. Let me get this out of there. I can just close that. Hey, no thumbs up. Let me get a thumbs up. What's the true number of thumbs ups? It would be 5. Thank you. I've got 5 viewers. I've got 9 or 5. I can't see. Okay, let me put this over there and see how many people. 7 viewers. I had 9 a minute ago. I got a fly. I should have closed that door, but that's okay. So let's talk about the ancient civilization that we can look at just on Google Earth and find out about. You know, some people think that this is an impact crater, but sometimes I fantasize that it was more, much more, perhaps some type of machine or creation. And why would it be a machine? Well, we do have to consider how the water was put into this basin. As I've told you, there's not a lot of shells found in there. I haven't seen any seashells at all myself. And even here, when you get into this spot, not many seashells. Now, as you know, oh, and I forgot to mention this with the painting, you know, all that tan right there, everything you see that's beige right there is sand that blew into the Richat structure. Okay, the white, that's a playa lake. That's salt bed. That's the water evaporated over here and here. Over here, we don't have a lot of sand. Why not? That is a really good question. But you do see the sand collected in these crevices here. And yeah, there's sand. Okay, were they part of it? I don't think so. I think that was blown in later. And this whole thing was blue. Okay. Now down here, it's very clear the sand filled that southern part of the basin. So when you're driving, and I have driven through here, thank you, Robert. Thank you for your help. Whoops, what am I doing? Oh, I'm not looking at the right screen. There it is. Okay, there's Robert. Hi, Robert. Thank you for confirming the sound. I'm not going to touch the volume. You see the sand filled in there, and that's what I'm trying to catch down here. The sand came over the cliff and filled in the basin. Now, I've got a lot of work on my painting to do, especially matching that color correctly. You know, we could talk all day. Gosh, I really should. It's not going to help. I should open this window. That'll get rid of the fly. Because I'm not a killer. I'm not a killer. I don't kill the flies. But I do know that the fly wants to go out that window. So, all right. Anyways. Where were we? We're talking about this. Anything you see that's tan or sand colored came in later. The basin is blue. And that's where we have to kind of figure out, why is this part, this light kind of a grayish blue, and over here you have more of a purple. It's not that color here. When you zoom in, it's different color. And when you're standing there on the ground, it's a different color. But when you zoom out to about here, you can see like a teal or gray teal, and over here you get more of a purple, and that's the colors I'm probably going to try to grab for right here. And I'll fill that in later. And I actually want it to look good on the wall, so if it looks good, I might stop. I'm not really too concerned about perfection when it comes to colors. Another thing is, if you compare all the other pictures, all these enhanced photos, you see a lot more teal, but that's kind of enhanced. And I like that. It looks kind of cool, so I tried it out. But no, I'm going to keep working on this. Now, I do want to say over here, I've discovered things by painting it. And one of the things about the sand inside this crevice right here, this crevice I've always noticed was kind of connected to a straight line here as well, and here as well. And it keeps going like right here as well. And so the question is what made that so consistent right there? Why does it look like almost like there's a straight cut through the rock right here, coming down and then coming out to here? Well, there's a lot of reasons. One of the reasons why, if you take a good look, this area could have filled in later, and it could have been an alternative entrance into the basin of this whole structure. Now, as you know, I do think it was probably some kind of ancient civilization, and I also say Atlantis. And the reason why is just there's too many similarities to the story. I don't want to get into that today. But as far as there being an ancient civilization there, I think that line tells us a lot. Okay, that line, and I'm going to get it as big as possible. I guess if I wanted to turn it, I could turn it so it filled the screen. A diagonal would fill it the best, right? And there's something going on here. And the other way we can look at that is the topsoil is all washed away. I agree with that. Thank you, Richard. To an extent, I think it was blasted and loosened. And the thing is I still don't understand why this basin remains so empty, except for the sand. Wait a minute. I'm going to look for Cal Topo. Now here we are at Pie Town, New Mexico. Two other long, straight, parallel ridges in the middle of North America. I'm going to be on the outer realm in a few days, and I'm going to talk about that. And I've talked about it all before. But zooming into this Richat structure with the topographical, then we can really see this kind of like straight line going on here. Something happened right there. And yeah, it's not like it's open here. It's not like it's open here. So why did that score line happen? Now, here, since we're in this, we can also see a couple of other important ridges. And only can you see them here? No, I also have that other picture, the LiDAR. Okay, hello, sir. Who's that, Rusty? Underrated researcher. Are we talking about me? Thank you. Well, I have some really good news for you. We have a couple of pieces of news. I should have said them at the beginning of the video, but I figured I'd kind of keep you in suspense a little bit longer. So I'm going to tell you the good news soon. Yeah, it's so hard to paint this thing. Can you imagine if I tried to paint just this? It actually, I think, would be much easier. How many colors are here? Just 3, right? They've got the white, we've got the gray, we've got the black. We've got several gradations of the gray. But there's so many things that I couldn't put in my painting that I want to. Look at these cuts. Now, a lot of people say that they are natural tectonic movements from the stretching of these lines. But honestly, how come they're parallel like that? And guess what? You've got these down here that are kind of parallel. And so when you meet them together right here, you have what I think is almost a right angle. Not exactly, of course, but then again, like you just said, the whole topsoil is washed away. Well, I don't think it's just washed away. Okay, I think that it was blasted away. My little circle here, the Sebket El Gulb, that circle, I'm showing it to you right now, that is an impact crater. I would bet my right arm that's an impact crater. We've got to get in there and we've got to take some samples, not dig. We don't have to dig too much. We go where the rim is still showing right here. We don't go where there's an alluvial fan. We go where the rim is still exposed, and we take our piece of iron and we rub it in the dirt. It's not that hard. We see these lines going around here. We don't have explanation what caused these cuts in the mountain all around. And here, out here, they go all the way through. And it just, I do believe that this was an ancient mine area, chert outcrops. This is coffee. I don't have any alcohol in the house. And right here is structures 4 and 5, where I visited the very first trip. And yeah, I'd love to put them in the painting, but they're just so small. I would literally have to sit there with first of all, reading glasses. Thank you so much, Rusty. Okay, what else did I want to say about this? Well, there is a LiDAR image from Conspiracy of Cartographers page. Oh, by the way, do you see how that line continues way out here too? It's way out here as well. So that's part of it. It's part of the question. What created that? You see it there. You see it over here a little bit. And the conspiracy of cartographers, it looks like a LiDAR image taken from space. That image shows these lines so clearly. We now know that's probably ancient damming activity right there. It goes all the way across the land. So it was probably a bridge and a road. You think I'm crazy. Now look, there was another one that went straight up and down right here. Straight up and down. You can see it very clearly if you look carefully. It goes straight up and down. It was an ancient damming activity or a road, a bridge. And there's not just that one. There's the one that we've been looking at for 6 years now. This line here, I'll show you in Google Earth in a second. That one as well goes straight across and continues across. So we've got 2 lines now. Let me show you with the Google Earth what I'm talking about. I just showed you that one that comes straight through here. You can't really see it. It looks like it's a curved line. But then down here you've got more. So where does it meet up? Now, those lines I just showed you in the topographical, I can show you again. One of them is here. It looks like it's right there. Well, now with the Google Earth, you can see the line continuing. All right? You can see it actually go across right there, but also continue down, way down here, and also across on the other side. It seems to be going way over here. So what is that? Some type of an ancient road? Or was it, I don't know about canals every time. Do we always have canals? And here, this other one, I've been looking at it for a long time. It does have the bridge, or maybe we can say dam. Maybe it was a road. And do you notice that all these other cut-throughs are parallel, perfect? So when you usually have activity like this, usually you get squiggles going back and forth. I have no problem believing this part of the river was part of the ancient system, started originally created naturally. Yes. What does that say? I can barely read that. Hold on. Distribution of cities similar to what we have today. Well, I mean, the shoreline, there would have been pretty much, okay, so Mike Parker says every time you see a white mark like that, it was probably a structure used to be there. And I don't know about all that, but I'm looking at these straight lines here. And the distribution of the city, I think in this case, the soil that, okay, so if you know me, I believe that this was an impact that destroyed Atlantis. And the reason I say that is because of the missing quadrant of mountains here. Okay, we've got rings. That's a perfect ring. But in the middle here, it's not perfect anymore. The whole quadrant's missing. Why is it missing? And the answer is because an impact crater took those away. Now, for the people who say that is a geological volcanic structure or feature, I disagree. Where are the mountains that would have been there? If it was moved out of the way, there would be a cone or something. So I believe that the topsoil was blown away. Now, you're making presumably the capital was the Richat structure because of the concentric circles. But first of all, we already know that it's 4 times larger than the it's 4 times larger than what the interpretation of what Plato wrote is. Okay, we can argue about that on the side. It would have been Egyptian stades, not ancient Greek stades. But still, it's 4 times larger. Or is it? You know, there's a lot of things, because actually, in my opinion, that's the mound, and this is the first ring. And that actually brings it down to the size Plato wrote. Okay, how far across is that? When you look at it here, it's 2,000 feet. That little inch down at the bottom left, that's 2,000 feet. Okay, now Plato wrote it's a stayed across. So if we were to go with just this mound, and that this part was water, then it is almost a stayed across. And then we've got the first ring, and we've got the canal. The ring matches the size. Why 11,000 of oral history before Plato heard the tale? Well, it wasn't oral, it was hieroglyphics in Africa. Remember, this is Africa too. So you got a continental oral history, and then you've got a global oral history, and you lose that history, I believe, in my opinion. I mean, that's just one quick shot at answering your question. I keep forgetting to continue with what I was trying to show you. Let me still plug my GoFundMe, please. $5 or $10 would be great. I already promised a painting to the lowest person. Is it this painting? Well, if you can guess where this comes from, maybe not. But I'm not making any promises there. Because I'll tell you what, the lowest donation, you can go donate 1 cent and you're going to win, right? So it's got to be some other way of figuring that out. And yeah, the GoFundMe's waiting. There's a tour happening that I will be on the 26th to the March 6th in the Richat structure. Now there's a new tour scheduled as well. So we can go to this circle together and we can see what I believe was the cataclysmic impact feature crater. It's not a volcano. They say that's a volcano, and they say this is a volcano. Okay, that's a volcano inside a volcano. A volcano that's 25 kilometers wide. I don't think so. And then what's this? Another volcano, they say. Now, you can see that line I just pointed out a minute ago. It actually connects what I believe is a canal segment. Now, these canals are going downhill. That's the up, that's the down. I do believe that they probably were maintained a little better, so they were more level. If they weren't level, well, you're going to have locks, right? So, what's this? Something else you found interesting is the mention of Tartarus or Tartarian being where the Titans were cast. Tartary, Russia, the Russian capital, is shaped in concentric circles. Well, that's just the thing. We've got concentric circles all over the desert, right? We also have a new set of concentric circles right over here. I'll never find them. I'll try to zoom in and find them. But I always have to use the coordinates of these new concentric circles. We've got structures all over the place. Okay, you ready for the other big news? Big news. Okay, so it's not 100% official yet, but I was invited to speak at Cosmic Summit. So 24 people just heard me say that. Cosmic Summit is June 20th to 23rd. Now, I haven't gotten my official invite yet. I had an informal invitation. I followed through and said, yes, I accept. I would get a little money. So this is great news for me. And I'm saying it now because I can't really show you anything, and it is very informal, and I don't want to say it's 100%, but it looks like I'll be at Cosmic Summit this year, CS25, and I'll give you more details about that. So there's lots of great stuff to talk about. Okay, so I failed. I always fail trying to find this thing right out here. I can cheat. But I always say to myself, if I could just start zooming in directly to it, one of these days it'll be very useful. Okay, so I give up. How do we find what I'm talking about? We go over to my Was This Atlantis Facebook page. Okay. Now, oh, I forgot to send somebody something. Oh, that reminds me. Okay, I should have done this already. Here's a few cool things. I found this on Caltopo. Where is that? And what is that? These are things that I found just recently. I don't even remember where they are. I put those up. I think that's in Utah or something. I can't even remember right now. But the thing, I guess I'll have to go to all photos. Go to all photos. Look at this one right here. There's concentric circles. Now that, as you can see, that's Chad. That's the eye of the desert in Chad, near Tibesti Mountain. The one I want to show you right now, though, it's very hard to see, even the shot that I have of it. I mean, people think that this is natural. Okay, I'm going to download this one onto my desktop. Okay, the reason why is because it's definitely not natural. And That's like one of the smoking gun images I can show you. That is Tassil Najir. Like this right here, I don't have a smoking gun evidence that that's not natural. Okay. Now we know this is in Utah. This, to me, I believe it's ancient terraforming. But I don't have that proof in my head. My brain doesn't have that in my head. This one, I do think that's evidence that there's something unnatural going on there. We should do that. That's a different video. I'm trying to find the one there. Oh, another something weird in the middle of the desert. That's like a tree stump. I don't believe in the tree stump theories, so don't quote me on that. Here's the one that I'm trying to show you right now. And I put the meme in here. I'm going to have to get that meme. So now we can go to it, and I can show this to you. There's concentric circles all over the place. And if you look at the Piri-Reis map, you have two sets of something like this. Okay, how am I showing up? Is everything looking good? Remove. What's going on here? Am I even showing you? Okay, I'm a little nervous now. Let me just do a fresh look at the video. Make sure you're seeing everything. Yeah, good. Okay, good. All right, for some reason, I guess that's it right here. The main stage is right there. I lost 4 viewers just pausing like that. Okay, let's clear the search results. And look at this thing. This thing has a mound in the middle, a line right here, a line out there creating concentric circles. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not as... And then you've got this canal going right through it. And then you've got these ridges going on top of that. And you can see the ridge actually went on top of the canal. So I would assume that the ridge came later. And you've got what looks like little canals. No, maybe not. But the ridges are going across it here and here. But then the canal goes north up here. Okay, now let me just pull up the Piri-Reis map. Piri-Reis map. I know that I could probably search it, but we can just quickly look at it in Wikipedia. And the best thing to do is to click on it. I hate to download it again onto my hard drive, but it's really the best thing. So that way I can zoom into it. And then we can open it up. Over here, you can open up the Piri-Reis map. And when we go into this area and we look right here, let's take a look. Now, the coastline is spot on, I should say, right? Rock on. And you've got these purple mountains down here. Those are very interesting. Are they mountains? They look like them. And they look like an angle you would see from the ocean. So this coastline is spot on. It's got all the correct capes. Then the river here no longer exists, but we already know what river that is. That's the ancient Taman Rasset Paleo River. We also see another river coming out here. That is not the Tropic of Capricorn right there. I'm sorry. Which one is it? Not Capricorn. Tropic of Cancer. Is it? The one on top is Cancer, right? Yes, and that would be representative of a solid line on modern-day maps that we all recognize, 23.5 degrees. That's not it. That's something else. That's a different thing. Because we know that Tropic of Cancer goes below these islands. These are the Canary Islands, and down here we have the Cape Verde Islands. Those are a little unperfect, okay? But this coastline is very perfect. Here, these islands are, if you follow this Cape Verde straight out, those islands are about here. And the Cape Verde Islands, well, we know the Tropic of Cancer, actually, it might be this line right here, to be honest. I see that line, and that's probably the Tropic of Cancer right there. I can't remember all the names. I don't know what this peninsula is, so we have to look at that. And then this river outlet right here, oh, yeah, Punto de Sintra. Punto de Sintra would be either this one or this one. And I think it's this one because I think I know this curve. That's far away. Well, we can go look at it real quick. Anyways, I opened this all up to talk about these two structures over here on the right. Okay, you've got this one aligned with the ancient Taman Rasset Paleo River. You see it go right into this mountain, but I don't think that's the shoal of mud. It could have been, because anything could have happened after the cataclysm, but I believe that shoal of mud is here. This whole river just filled up with sediment from a big, huge impact that I showed you. And what is this circle over here? We see 3 rivers going into it. And what is this other circle over here? Could that be? Let's close that. Could that be the circle that I just showed you that's right here? That's aligned with. It's aligned with the ancient equator. If you connect that dot, let's just put it right here, and we'll put in this thing here. Click it right in the middle right there. Oh, I don't like that. It always does this. I don't want that. Ancient roads, canals, walls, Sahara. I forget which one I want to use. Why is it always doing this to me? I don't want to put it down there in untitled project, but I might as well, because that way it's, oh, now it disappears. See, this is what I don't like. Where is it? View. Where did it go? It just disappeared. Okay. All right. Yeah, there we go. We have the 2 of them. One of them should be moved. This one, I don't know what this is, why this is here. See? This is the cliff shoreline of the south shore of the Richat structure. I'm not sure why I created that, but the thing is that I don't even care about that. I'll make that disappear. No? Make that disappear. Make this one reappear. Okay, get rid of that one. I can even delete it. Let me just delete that, because this isn't really what I wanted to do. I wanted to show you a line between this point and this point. So here now I can create the place mark again, put it right in the center. And now we can compare the 2. And I can say, again, that these 2 lines, these 2 lines, sorry. I'm distracted because my eye's twitching. Are there any eye doctors out there? It's not good. So right there, these 2 dots are perfectly parallel with the ancient, and I showed it right here. I might as well just open that back up. No? How about that? Zoom in a little bit, maybe. That line is the one I just created with the other map. And the ancient equator alignment between Giza and Easter Island is this line. And look how parallel they are. So I think it's pretty phenomenal and important. That being said, I didn't even want to be in here. In fact, I'm closing this down. I only opened this all up to talk about all that. It doesn't even show up on this CalTopo. So it's not going to, I've already tried. You're not going to find it over here. What was that other thing that oh yeah, that was, you're going to have to go. Sorry, now I'm hiccuping. Okay, let me get a drink of coffee. And I think I'm kind of having a reaction, hiccups and eye twitches. Usually when you drink water, I can get rid of the hiccups. But the eye twitches, that's a different story. Okay, so I've shown you that. Let's get back to the rest of the story out here. We do have other things that we can see from space, okay? And I was focusing down here on these 2 lines. We see that ancient road right here now. We see this one as well. This one actually connects to, this is not really a river in my opinion. It's a segment of a canal, okay? You can follow this up and find lots of activity. Look at this little entry point here. I really do think that this was like a little subsidiary canal, or I should ask AI the best word. And over here, we have some stuff going on right here, an entry point to this canal, and there's something right here. And one thing that I've seen before, and someone pointed it out to me again, was way up here. Where is it? It's like, how is that created naturally? It just doesn't make sense. Maybe it's down here. We've got a lot of these little entry points. Here's one where it forks off, and it's like, was it a river? Was it a canal? Rivers aren't so straight, so it doesn't make sense. Where's that other little thing? It's right about here. I gotta just go down to it. Down below, there's a bunch of other entry points. I'm looking for that thing I want to show you, though. Down below. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go way down below, or maybe it's a different point. because I think we're already too far down. Oh, is it over here? Maybe I got lost, 100% lost now. This is another very straight one, right? And it just seems to start and stop. I think those are canal segments. Now, the one I want to show you, though, is connected to all this other stuff. So I have to look at it from afar and then zoom in. I guess we're talking about the Wadan River. No? Okay, I'm going to show you something else in a second, but let me just have one more chance to find this for you. I thought it was right where this road met this thing. So let's zoom in right here and see. So that kind of comes in right here. And there's always something on the other side, like the intersection, right? Now my nose is twitching. Okay, I don't know where that thing went. I've got to look at it real close and try to find it before I lose all. I guess it's not here after all, huh? So the thing I guess I was going to show you might be over here. I don't know what happened to that thing. I mean, in my opinion, this is just a little too straight to be an ancient river. Now, the next thing I was going to show you is right up here. This is the Wadan River head. And when you follow it up, you get to a point where it's a bad scan. There's lots of stuff in here you can find and see. But you have to almost use other mapping softwares. That's a road right there. In fact, that's the road that I want to take to get to my next spot. And when I say that, the reason why, oh, no, not over there. I'm going to go straight up here in my travels. I'm going to go straight up here. So I'm going to try to visit what I'm about to show you. I just wanted one more chance to that it right there? No, that's not. Oh, there it is. I found it. Okay, we're going to back out in a second. But what I wanted to show you is this structure here. And you see a few of those in the Grand Canyon. But the straight line is right there. So why is there is that some kind of little like service station for boats or gas station or maybe just a little, who knew? I mean, what I believe is that was carved out. And you've got water in there right now. So it does get full of water sometimes. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that wasn't water. But you can follow the Wadan River. Now let's back out and see where we are. Okay, so we were near the donut. We're to the left of the donut. And that is part of that thing. So the road comes over here, the ancient road, and clicks in with this canal. So maybe it was a canal. And then it goes up this way. And now you can see the modern day road is right there. I've been there millions of times. Millions of times. Okay, let me go check the chats. No, I haven't been there millions of times. I tried saying that I can give you a million reasons why. What was my point? I forget the end of the sentence. And I was referring to the stone circles in Africa. And the stone circles, oh yeah, I remember now. It was when Stefan Milo did a video talking about the kites in, I guess, Iran, and saying that they were animal traps. And I said, no, I can give you a million reasons why those are not animal traps. And the trolls just immediately, oh, he's about to give a million reasons, and he hasn't even given one. And I said, dude, my one reason is the million reasons. Those stones, there's millions of them. What kind of hunter-gatherers are going to move those stones? Wow, I'm just noticing my connection is unstable. If you're on Wi-Fi, try plugging it into your router. No, I'm plugged directly into my router. But I think we're doing okay. We're right on the border of it not being good, though. I can see now. And I've never even noticed that. Try moving closer to the router. No, we're plugged directly into the router. That's why I'm kind of done with the Verizon home internet tower, the cube, which I'm not going to show you. Okay, so there's a couple more things I want to show you before I'm done. We're talking about the title of today's video, the Richat structure and its lost civilization. Now, ancient canals are everywhere. And if you are not new here, you know that this is pretty much the way that the Taman Rasset Paleo River flowed. Okay, learn your past participle. It had flowed about here. It had flown? No, it's not an airplane. It flowed. Okay, I know my past participle is flowed, and it probably created that line right there. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but from my studies, you can see a distinct route. And it's on the maps, and there used to be an ancient lake, and you can see the river, and it's about right there. Now, where's my mouse? How come I can't see it? Okay, so now it's following it here. Now, mainstream media, I'm not talking about archaeology, I guess we could say mainstream science, says that the river flowed up and over this black thing right there. Now, that dark thing is a big mountain, and it's where they get the most iron in the world from. Okay, I'm going to go through your chats in a moment. Thank you, Chuck. I'll go through your chats in a moment, but I'm trying to at least get to the end of my point. The ancient Tamanrah said Paleo River probably did. I can show you lots of little canals where I'm showing you here to the left. There's a lot of canals out here. So it probably did come up and over this way, but come on. You can see that it was probably going through right here as well. Okay, Rusty, I see your comment, and I'm going to respond right away to that. Yes, the sea was higher, but I think you can see in Google Earth exactly where the ancient shorelines were. Take a look right now, Rusty. While you're looking, I'm going to show you. That is the ancient shoreline right there, Rusty. So we've been looking this for a long time. And, for example, you've got those weird brown mountains. Where are they over here? Here? Is this those mountains? We got to get into the Cal Topo to figure that one out. I'm talking about the Piri Reis map showed those mountains. I'm going to ask you if you think, see, look over here. You can see those mountains in the Piri Reis map. But what you don't see in this Google Earth shot is that the ancient shoreline used to come out from here. So we're not looking with the Piri Reis. We're not looking at any pictures from 11,000 years ago. I'm still going to show you a few more things to prove ancient civilization. Okay. But there's a lot of chats over here. Let's go through them real quick. Let's do a quick, thank you for all those thumbs up. It shows 16, but when it goes to the new one, 21. I'm loving you guys. Thank you so much. And now let's do a quick scan of all the chats. Let's take a look at the past ones I've already looked at. Try to find the one that I looked at last. You say Horseshoe Lake. That reminds me of a billabong. What is a billabong? Okay, so we looked at them here. Now I'm going to get this back out of here, and we're going to go to my StreamYard. Get this. Oh, wait, what did I do that for? I did the wrong thing. I moved the wrong thing. What I meant to do was to keep that here. Let's go make sure everything's looking right. Okay, and let's get this big, and let's go back to that. And now we will talk about our chats real quick. Poseidon. Presumably, the capital was the Richat. We've seen that. We've seen this. We've seen this. Let's go back. Make sure. Okay, so that was what took me off on that tangent, is that these were the concentric circles. Everywhere there's concentric circles. We've got the Tin Biden crater up here. That also looks like unnatural. That doesn't look like a crater to me. And if you look at the Cal Topo, you can find craters everywhere, but craters are a little different from concentric circles. You want to go through the chats. You mentioned Poseidon, sub-nuke Russia can create a wall of water that would wash away a nation. Okay. I guess you're talking about a nuclear bomb going off in the right spot. Poseidon was what the temple in the center of the Richat was dedicated to. Richard, you're not giving me any new information except for that Russian sub-info. Poseidon temple. Yeah, you're talking about if it was here. That's why when Jimmy showed us the castle back in 2018, I did a video saying, was this Poseidon's castle? I didn't use the word temple. Is this cup all nasty? That's just coffee stains. Okay, so you're not telling me anything new. That's why I went there. And I did show a video. You want to know a place I didn't go? I should have come over here and walked around here looking for the well, because it looks like that's probably where the well was. I should go there next trip. Donate to the GoFundMe. Now, that's the next stop on the map. Well, one of them. But let's sustain eye drops. Get sort of, okay, thank you. Yeah, usually if I want the twitching to stop, I close my eye. And I actually kind of did that. I'm doing it right now, you can tell. Horseshoe Lake. I don't know when I showed that, but I do recall there was a lake. Oh my God. Yeah, look at this right here. Let's just keep that right there for the next part. But let's go through here. Thank you so much, Chuck, for that. And check to see if there's a connection by canals to Tripoli, Libya. Connection by canals to Tripoli. So what you're talking about is Tripoli and Libya. Now, Tripoli is actually Tunisia, right? Now, oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Tripoli is over here. But this used to be considered the Tripoli entry point. And what you can see is an ancient shoreline right there, right? So when the sea levels were higher, maybe this was full of water, but maybe that was from years and years earlier too. So the Tripoli stuff you're talking about, there was an entry point here. There was a big, huge lake here, Triton. And Tripoli, I think, used to be, but then later on, Tripoli was moved a little bit, right, to right about here. And it's technically in Libya, but it's right next to that entry point. So the sea was higher, yes, and you can see, I think, changes there. And yeah, we can back out and look at it on Google Earth, and we can see that. But I want to go right back in right there and revisit that. Now, inside the Mediterranean Sea, it's a little bit different from outside, but we still do see that ancient shoreline. And where is that Tripoli part? It's over here. Sorry. We can't really see what anything going on. We can see the Mediterranean Sea gets a little more shallow over here. But we do have to question that, you know. Let's not, maybe I'm wrong. We could go to the flooding software and find out where this would have been the common number for the increase in the sea level 15 to 13,000 years ago. And I say when the ice age melted, I've shown it plenty of times with the mainstream stuff, but the mainstream stuff doesn't show any data from right here. It shows more data from over here, Persian Sea. Look at Ali Bai's map of the world every year. That shows the sea, and it shows Doggerland, and it shows out here a little bit over here, but not a lot, a little bit. And over by Florida, these lines. But I think that we can actually see it on Google Earth. We see it, okay? I really believe in my heart that's the ancient sea level, and that's where the shore. But we don't know how much higher than the sea was that. This fluctuates too. This fluctuates too. So we don't really have I only have two colors here, light blue and dark blue. And you can see a gradation here. So we have to assume that this was the ancient shore where water did not belong. And this line was the shoreline itself. Not perfect. Okay, and let's go back to the last comment, Rusty Utter. You said Doggerland was showing, yeah, like I was just mentioning right up here. You can see that the light blue, that's where Doggerland was. I don't know if you're calling it Daggerland, like a dag, like in the Guy Ritchie movie with Brad Pitt talking about a dag. Well, it wasn't him that said the dog. They were talking the cut. What were those guys called? The Cutters or whatever. He was such a good boxer. And Daggerland, or maybe you think that it's for daggers. No, I'm just joking. I don't believe you believe that. But yeah, Doggerland was right there. And as you can see, that ancient shoreline is keeping true to my theory. Well, that color that we see. Meandering rivers sometimes create a separate path, creating a lake. Yes, that's called a billabong. Okay. And the word billabong, if you know the song Waltzing Matilda, I had to look it up to know that you can find billabongs everywhere. Obviously, that's an Australian word, right? But when you go to a river that's changed over the years, I think I can find one for you. And I think the best one would be, let's go to this one. See, this, we see the meandering. You can see the changes. We can find ourselves a billabong somewhere around here. Might not be full of water, right? But when the meandering changes, you can see the score lines. There we go. There's an ancient meander. And even though it's not really horseshoe shaped, there you go. That's a billabong, right? Because it used to be part of the river. Waltzing Matilda, who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me? No, I don't know the words. Brad Pitt was being a pike. The word was pike, P-I-K-E. Now, anything, are you British? I would be willing to, oh wait, I missed a lot of chats. Hold on. What? Oh, there, look, there were a lot of chats. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to the one that I already talked about. There. Receding water to the poles. Okay. Mini submarine nuke. What is? Oh, you're talking about that Poseidon nuke thing? Obviously, if it's going to create a wall of water that could destroy a small town, it's got to be nuclear fueled, right? And it is interesting. I never really thought about using that. You know, usually I thought a nuclear sub would send its nukes into the sky from the water as opposed to from a ground base. I never really thought about doing stuff like that with water. Entire civilizations on the bottom of the seabeds. Yes, the sea cliffs, as Graham Hancock said, the shelves, the coastal shelves. But at the same time, I believe that the concentric circles in the these concentric circles were destroyed by this impact crater right here. Sebket El Guel, right there. And let's not forget, this painting is for sale. I won't get into the details right now, but I've got 20 viewers, and I do want to remind I have a GoFundMe below. Please give $5 to the GoFundMe. 10, $5, $20. I'd like to have more small donations than a few large donations. Okay, yes, on the seashells, as Graham Hancock says, several people's research and video games. Yeah, my bad. Okay, no, what? Because of Daga, the Dagas. Is it a dog? It's a dog, a dag. And by the way, he pronounced it all messed up. If you're British, a pike. Right near my house, the creek has changed paths, and the scar remains. Very cool. Do you have a billabong in your backyard? What's that? Wave Ian? Who's Ian? WV Ian? I don't know what that means. But anything. I'm looking at the people who commented. Okay, I'm going to get back into my presentation mode. I'm going to talk about this right here. Right there, right? Because the next thing I was going to talk about were these lines up here. Talk to Mike Parker. He thinks they were canals. I don't have evidence yet to disagree. So we're going to take a couple of geograbs of the GPS of a couple of the straightest lines, and I'm going to go there because I'm going to be driving right up here. But now I wonder if this line that we talked about at the beginning of the canal is not also an ancient canal right there. That some type of cataclysm filled it in, and then later erosion made it look like it looks now. As you know, there's already this line going through here. If we look at my Cal Topo, it's very clear, but you can't see this part that seems to be going across here. You see this modern day dirt road go through here. Why? You have to ask yourself that question. Why is it going in the same direction? Is it possible that there's a crevice that was convenient that way? And then you see another one down here that looks like it's kind of going straight towards the center of the Richat structure. Now, I always ask how did the mouth of the Richat structure get created? Was it later? Was this canal the one that entered? The Peary-Reese map shows 3 different canals going into the circular structure. So I don't know. I mean, we get in here with the topographical and we look at it. We got to find it. It looks quite straight here. You've got an angle right there. Maybe this was part of it. Maybe that was the other way to get out. But when you look at it now, what you've got is a low point on the drawer plate. You can't really see it here. It's very, very subtle. But maybe this was all full of material. I believe this was an impact. So all this stuff would have been run. You can see these. See, this is why I think these are ridges. But with ridges can come canals. And if you don't understand, look at the canal we have today, the Panama Canal. That has built up walls next to it. So it's been built up to become that canal. They didn't just carve into the ground. So Mike Parker says these are canals. I think the topographical says that's a ridge. But do you notice how it's going up against this modern day river? And the head of the Waden River up here, we can see these lines right here. Look right here. You can see those lines. That one here. Was that a canal? We also see them over here, right here. You can't see them on this map. But if you get in right about here, you can see the beginnings of them. Right here is one of them right here. And to me, that looks like a ridge, not a canal. Over here, we can kind of turn it like this. And we can see those lines that I'm talking about here. But we don't see any mouth of a canal. We do see kind of something. Like I said, I do believe there's still some topsoil. I think the explosion... You see this line here? I'm not going to be getting over to that side in my trip. So you can see those things. Now, before I got distracted, I was talking about this canal because I was about to talk about, when I mentioned the Tamanrasa Paleo River, I was going to say that this canal can easily connect that. It's right here. It needs to render. Wave and Ivan. Okay, I need to start getting rid of all these. Let's get rid of that one. Trey Stewart, welcome. Trey Stewart, if you're interested in this, wait a minute, Trey Stewart. You look very much like somebody else. If you're interested in this, like if you want to really, there's got to be a shipping fee. I don't know where you're located. I want to work on this more and sell it for $1,000. If you want it right now as is, if you love what you see, there's a few things I wanted to change, but if you love what you see, I can take a better picture of it. You can buy it right now for $500. And I'll roll it up and ship it to you. You're going to have to pay me the shipping on this. Thank you for your question about that. Now, that's an ancient airstrip. And don't forget, you could do something like put a deposit down on the GoFundMe to get me to hold this for you or something like that. I also have this painting, this little painting. I might have to auction one. Like I was going to do a painting this size of the Richat. This is a piece of canvas board, so it's got 2 sides. It even has some paint on the other side. This is a canvas that has not been stretched, so I can roll it up, and once you receive it, you can stretch it yourself, or you can hang it up on the wall with staples even. We can talk about all those details. Let's get back to the presentation, though. Thank you so much for your question there, Trey. You made me so happy asking that question. Billabong, yes, trust me. Seawalls, yes. Holland, nice to, what? You're in Holland? Okay. Yeah, it's so funny. When I was a kid, we said Holland, and then one day, sorry, I want to make sure this doesn't go off. One day they said, oh, it's not Holland, it's the Netherlands. What happened? Let's hope that nothing bad happened. Let's check the sound. The machine precision capability came from Egypt. Okay, let me just get into that. First, let me finish my thought about Holland. And I think you might be talking about this canal. This is I'll talk about that. First, Holland, of course, I always wanted to say Holland in my whole life. And now I know that Holland is a region of the Netherlands, right? No, the Netherlands is a region of Holland. If I remembered it correctly, and the whole United States was just decided to throw a wrench into the Holland narrative. And so we stopped calling it Holland and we started calling it the Netherlands. And now give me a 1, Rusty Utter, if the Netherlands are a part of Holland. Give me a 2 if Holland is a part of the Netherlands. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah. Yeah, go to my website, davidstighansen.com. I just updated it. It has all my old paintings. Dutch, really. So 2. So that means 2. And just give me another. Oh, Trey Stewart is answering that question. Was the second one. And I forgot already. So let's not do 1 or 2. Holland is a part of the Netherlands. Is what 2 was, I believe. But now I can't remember anymore. Now I'm all mixed up. So let's not do 1 or 2 for that. Let's go back up. Thank you for that comment. Thank you for the question. And yes, you can find the paintings on my website. Not this painting because I'm still doing it. I usually take pictures of a painting while it's under construction. Let's see here. Yeah, this was the website. What did you say here? Okay, so Richard, what explains it is the question I guess I have for you right now. And the answer, I think that the survivors of Atlantis were already in Egypt when the cataclysm happened. So the precision capability was already in Egypt being used by those survivors because Egypt and Tyrrhenia were both under sway. That means they were enslaved by the Atlanteans at that time. Okay? The way Plato put it, when the cataclysm happened, the Egyptians were released from their slavery. And who were those enslavers? Well, the survivors of Atlantis had to have already been in Egypt to enslave and control and have sway over Egypt. WV. Oh, West Virginia. Okay, all right. I see why you said that. But then what is IAN? You said WV Ian. Was somebody else asking you named Ian? Or maybe I'm blocked. Okay, so this precision capability, I want to look at this canal, how straight it is. It's going through that outcrop, that higher level. These are outcrops that are peering through the top of the sand. You can see some here. When you back out, it stops doing all that crap. You can see the eye of the Sahara. You can see the corner of the eyes right here, but there's another outcrop way, way out here. So I do believe that all the sand you see now wasn't there, and how it got there is still a big question in my heart. Now, this curve, hard to see, but we can easily go to Cal Topo and look at this curve. Look at this curve that's 10 miles long. Okay, this curve, Michel's curve, you can kind of see some circles out here too. So you got something you can see out here with the topographic. But going to stuff we know exists, you have an entry point on both sides of that curve for ancient canals. I do believe you can see this line continue and that this was the inlet of a canal. By the way, down here, you can clearly see that was some type of an ancient damming activity, but I don't believe that dam is as old as Atlantis because I believe this was an ancient sea full of water right here. This shows the Playa Lake. This is a 200-mile long shoreline, and that's a conservative estimate. So this was full of water, and then when you get down here, that part of the canal, that's 4 kilometers long. Or is it just 2? And this curve connects this part. What made that perfect curve? Such a nice curve, you know? And you can't even see it when you go to Google Earth anymore. They've created it. Now I can't see my mouse. They've created an impossible, you can't see anything when you zoom in. You're not going to discover that by going there. You can go to the other one called satellites.pro, or maybe you see it through Google Maps, or I'm sorry, Apple, your iPhone. That might show the curve a little bit better, but it seems like Google is covering it up. And then you get into here. There's one more thing I was going to show you. Let's look at this. You see this line here, the fact that it's so different. And where's that circle we just found in the middle of the desert? I'd like to find that. You can almost kind of see straight lines out here, like there or there. And yeah, this scan kind of gives you some ideas of other things out there. But to be honest, you know, I don't really spend a lot of time out here. It's actually the same height. If you look at the topography, this side is the same height as that side. If you go to hover and click, you see that's about 1,400 feet above sea level. And over here, it's about, it's 1,600 feet above sea level. Let's go way, way down by the canal. On the canal side, you've got two different materials on each side. How does that straight line? No, it's a canal. Over here, the mouse says that it's 1,440 above sea level. Over here, 1,416. So you can almost find the same numbers depending on where you're reading from. I guess if we go a little closer here, this side is, I mean, the middle of it, the canal itself shows 1,322. If we zoom right in there. On this side, that shows 1,362. So 40 foot, actually 1,370. Over here, 1,360. It's the same. But why is it a different material? Why is it a different color? I mean, there's a big question for the mainstream geologists. I believe that this canal brought water from the north side, Tamanrasset River, down to the south side. I believe this was an ancient sea in here. And when you look at it, you can't really see it from here, but when you go into the topography and you go to the south side, now you're able to see this ancient wall. And ask yourself why it's aligned with this down here. And now there's sand everywhere, but it really looks like there was a canal there that got covered up in sand. And here, up here, you can follow it. It kind of curves this direction and then curves back that direction. But eventually you start to see this. You can't really see it very clearly. It starts to become this ancient seawall. Why is that there? And why are there little cuts through? One, and over here, two, and I think there was one more maybe here. That looks to me like it was a divider for this seawall. Possibly washed away down here. And over here, another example of seawall activity. And if you look closely, you see that this ridge looks like it was put right on top of this cliff line, this plateau. Again, this might be another thing that was put on top. But and you can see the ridge goes across. It kind of disappears right here. But you can kind of see a cliff line. So maybe that was holding water like a swimming pool. And over here, you can see that that wall looks like it was put right on top of the previous, especially right here. You've got this line here going right underneath it and continuing. This one right here looks like it was placed right across the top of it. Whoopsie daisy. Let me get rid of those chats. Why is that there? Where's the last one? Way up there? Okay, let's get through these chats. Check davidstighansen.com. If you're interested in that painting, I will sell it to you tonight. We get the money. You can even give me crypto to pay me. I am looking for more money for my trip. I am trying to avoid selling stuff, including crypto, which is way too low now. I'll be losing money if I sell my crypto today. So I'm not going to do that. West Virginia. Oh, and so Ian is the name of the city in West Virginia. Thank you, Chamba in Canada. Thank you for joining. Local joke, I guess. Dutch, really, and tulips. Now, Dutch is the it's the language, and it's the nationality of the people. But it's not the name of the place. Nobody says, I'm from Dutch. I'm from Dutchland. Dutchland is Germany. It's another reason why I got so confused all those years about what Dutch was. I think I got it figured out now. He's Dutch. He's from Holland. Okay, so going through here again, and I'm almost done. I've been talking an hour. Can you fly drones in the Richat structure? Well, take a look at the recent video that was just put up by Ancient. So, sorry, his channel name is Archaic Lens. Over an hour of drone footage. Archaic Lens. I don't have it handy, and I'm definitely not going to grab his video and start watching it, but he's got over an hour of drone footage from that location. Look at Itchy Boots. Now, she drove into the country. She did not fly her motorcycle into the country. So when she went to the Richat structure, she took video and she took drone footage. In my opinion, some of the best. Thank you, Itchy Boots. I stole it from her, and I showed it on my channel. Okay, what's this one? Well, each piece? No, I think that the precision method, you say precision cut stones. I know that the granite inside the pyramid was pretty precise, but going around those pieces, it looks like a war zone right now. Where's the precision? So the casing stones were precise, right? Because they made the pyramid perfectly flat. But they had a method where they put the stones that were not precise up first. I've never been there, but this is what I see. How do they keep track of each piece? On paper, that would be millions of pieces. Okay, it's an interesting point, Richard. Thank you. Can I fly drones over there? I took a drone there, but I did not fly it because of the rules. And I left it there. And then in my second trip, I brought it back. And the second reason why is because I don't like drones. They prayed to the sea as it was rising. Who's they? Okay, I just messed up. The Boston Dynamics robotics program is named Atlas, similar to the Russia's nuke called Poseidon. Okay. I don't care about modern day stuff. I care about what I can prove with Google Earth. I'm a Google Earther. I found the Eye of Africa in 2009 on Google Earth. I had no idea. Hey, I am Kairos. I see you popping in late. Okay, here we go. Netherlands is the whole region. Holland is the area below sea level. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Amsterdam is another area. So I always thought Amsterdam was in Holland. I've been to Amsterdam a couple of times. We'll get that out. We'll get that all figured out. Oh, he put the video out. Yes. No. If you've been waiting to see a video for a long time, that was the Paleolithic hand axe heads. Okay, he put out some drone footage right after his second trip. But unfortunately, the drone footage wasn't like, you couldn't see the concentric circles. That's why I said Itchy Boots did a great job, because she shows from the second ring in the center and the second ring very clearly. And I thought that was awesome. Now, what he shows in his recent video came out about 2 days ago. You can see the circles in those, but let's just put it this way. There's so much, it's hard to find that. You have to watch a lot of it to get to it. But still, for me, it's very important. Okay, what am I doing here? Yeah, so the video that he said he's going to put out for a long time was his discovery of the Paleolithic hand axe heads. And there's some type of a large cache of them up in El Bied. Oh, by the way, look at that. See, that's the other thing I wanted to show you. These lines right here. So those are quarry lines right there, and they go right through the mountain that I visited. Now, we can talk more about that later, but since I'm showing them now, I might forget to come back here later. The quarry lines, let me get rid of this. The bumble up the bottom middle with not so precise setting at all. Who's B? I don't even know what you're talking about right here. And there are some say the Great Pyramid is built atop a natural mound on, well, I think what we have to wonder is what was there along the river. Those pyramids were probably not the first things there along that ancient civilization. How old is the pyramid? You know, were they machines? There's so many questions we could talk about. This isn't my department. Right now, I'm kind of aligning with what Land of Kim thinks. There's a lot of straight lines here. There's two canals that are parallel. I walked down that one. This one's parallel. I haven't been to that one yet because it's quite a drive. Then you can really see that water wall. By the way, the top of it's aligned with those two mountains. So when we talk about this ancient alignment here, I do believe it was something. This is the highest point on the Adrar Plateau. Ask yourself this question very quickly. How can this be higher than this? Those two mounds, and there's a saddle in between. Those have a name. Tomiat has one name. Okay, let's get. Sorry, man. Bad English. They built the plateau. There's a big question about that. The path of least resistance. Okay, I don't know exactly what you mean, but yeah, let me get rid of all the chats and kind of get back to my presentation and then finish up. So when you look at this topography, look at this line going through here. Even though you've got a piece right here, it really looks like that was part of the river's cut through. I believe that a river used to cut through here and go along this line. I believe this was part of it. I believe that these two lines were part of it. I really don't know why there's a shoreline here, but I do believe that near Nouakchott, the city of Nouakchott, I do believe that there was another outlet right about here. Then up here, the Tamanrasset Paleo River, mainstream science says it went up and over this and then came down and then came out right about here. Okay, there's a couple things I wanted to show you on this map here. The things I just showed you are not as easy to see. That's why you've got to use two of them. Here you can see that highest point on the Adrar Plateau actually is a little different than what that topography showed. You can see a kite-shaped surface that I believe is the highest point. And along this, you see these quarry lines that are cutting through this parallelly. Parallel here, they're all parallel cut-throughs right here. There's a lot of, and are they canals? I don't think so. I think that they're actually quarrying, but I could be wrong. You know, I don't know everything about what I'm looking at here. I'm making guesses. Now, when you ask, David, why do you want us to donate to your GoFundMe? The link's down below in the description. It's because I want to go here. And unfortunately, each place you go is about 100 miles out in the middle of nowhere. You've got to have extra fuel. I need to get my satellite phone, make sure that's going to work. Maybe rent one while I'm there. Have more than just one. And look at this thing. This thing is my destination. Okay? Why does this thing exist? Now, I showed you the serpentine. If we go back, I actually downloaded it. I'm going to make a video called The Top 20 Smoking Guns. And this serpentine is one of them, and it's a carving on the plateau in Tissil-Nager, and there's so many things there to see. That's another smoking gun. That's not as strong. Okay, there you go. What are we seeing here? This is Tissil-Nager. See, some of these things I've already forgotten. Oh, that's erosion. No, that's ancient quarrying. All right, that is quarrying and machining of the land. Look at those angles. You don't just get wind going in and doing that. So go to Tissil-Nager, and then when you see that and you're convinced that the work was done, then you can go back and you can go to the quarry that I just showed you up here. Oh, you're not going to get it here. It's right about here. You're not going to see these lines. See, you can't see them from here. So they are so slight, none of them appear in this. But when you go here, you're seeing stuff like this. And in my opinion, you've got some straight lines. Do we have the ancient? the ancient, this is one of them. That's one ancient alignment. So yeah, that could be the up-down direction somebody was making. But there's a lot of other stuff in here. And the other place, when you back out, you start to see these lines that are parallel. And these lines are kind of still hanging around after a long... So you're looking at straight lines that were a different project. And those are not them. The ones I'm talking about are these lines here. I think they're a lot older. And that's not the only place to look at them. The place you want to look at them is way out here. You start here, and you turn this way, and you start going in, and you start to see them right here. Those lines are 6 miles long. Mike Parker. Hey. Okay, where's my... Don't worry about the spelling. Okay, we've got I am Kairos in the house. We've got Mike Parker in the house. I was talking to Mike Parker earlier. Where were those chats? This concept is nothing. Yeah, there. Wait, the concept is that there's nothing new under the sun. Oh, okay. There's a lot of people. Hey, Mike, you like my painting? I'm working on this. I'm still working on it. It's canvas. If you want to grab it, I can roll it up and send it to you. What am I showing you next? Let me just find the chats. I heard that also. I am Kairos. I could deliver this one to you. But I want to talk about it. I'm still doing a few small changes to it. Look at the beginning of the video if you want to hear what I said. Oh, the Lichtenberg structuring. Yeah. I am Kairos. I do agree that it is highly sus. Like there was Poseidon. We're talking a long time ago, creating the Lichtenberg patterns that you see. B, what are you saying wow to? I'm so curious. Sometimes gates keep the whole thing in check. In electricity, the direction of flow is passed through logic and resistance. Gates, huh? Okay, well, what are the gates? And then it's traumatolites. I've got to look that up. I forgot what that means. The straight lines. Mike, thank you so much. I was talking with you when we were talking about those canals, maybe ridges at the top. Why, Mike? I'll just show you right now, because when I showed this earlier, it really does look like mounds at the top here. You can barely see them here, but when I say mounds, I mean ridges. When you zoom in here, you can definitely see, like here, down here, a natural ridge. Now, I'm not saying that wasn't for a canal. It could have been a ridge for a canal. And they are going right into the river right there, the ancient Wadan River head. So I was mentioning that earlier. I figured you might have seen that. B, where's everybody from? Come on, guys. Chat up a location and a city, and chat up how the weather is, and if you're from there. I know Mike is in Leeds. Wait, Sussex. I'm sorry, Sussex. Did I just dox you? I'm sorry. Okay, electrical engineering. Awesome. Oh, thank you for the painting comment. The stuff buried under there, fossils. I do believe that this is pretty hard. I don't believe you're going to be able to dig for anything, to be honest. Also, let's not forget that with electricity comes electromagnetic charges. And I do believe that this whole mountain had enough electromagnetic, alluringness, attraction, that it not only attracted what it created, I believe a Birkeland current created this thing. Circuits using channels of water. Bristol, UK, B. We got strange fog here tonight. You should watch the Adapt 2030 channel. My friend David Dubine, he focuses on weather, and he was showing some interesting weather events. Just I forget what they were. They use electric frequency to mega terraform. Yeah, and maybe some type of a laser beam with electricity where they made these cuts. And those cuts went down deep. Maybe applied a chemical that started a chemical reaction on top of the stone. Some of these stones, you see them, look like chemical reactions. I don't watch a lot of Land of Chem, but I do see some of the theories and, the idea whether or not the pyramid was is it David Myers thinks it was a water pump? Was it, let's not even get into it. Each machine, did they all have different needs, or were they all the same machine? Were they all doing the same thing? The ones down in Sudan or lower Sudan do look like they could have been something different. They have exploded tops. What made those explosions? Okay. Well, yeah, let's make sure. Napa Valley, I am Kairos. Yes, thank you so much for inviting me to Napa Valley. That was such an awesome time. Newfoundland, Chamba in Canada. Wow, must be cold and icy up there. The path of lightning is intelligent, and it's coming from the ground, right? It comes up from the ground and goes up into and creates sprites. Did you know that all these lightnings have sprites too? The sprites are a very interesting phenomenon. Yeah, if you dig a canal on flat ground, you're going to have banks on either side. That's my point. I think and I think we see those ridges, but I think over those other areas we don't see them. And I think that's because they didn't need to have those ridges. The material went right down. So some areas, they have the canal, like you said, banks on either side. Channels then fill with windblown dust and dirt. And by the way, I do have to give you credit right near here. So do you see these lines? You can barely see them. And then over here, you see the scan took it away. But over here, those lines continue. They go on for 6 miles. I think that this is quite prominent right there. I think it's very prominent. You can see how the lines were unnaturally placed, cutting through the top. And then what happened after that is still a question. Is it mining activity? Is it water erosion? Is it this fractalization? I used to think that this natural lines were a type of fractalization that happened in the land. But now I don't think so at all. I think that this is a sign of, here's another project. This project, they were doing something different when they removed the content. And just like when you go to Algeria and look at Tassil Najer, and you look at all the different quarrying projects that took all those blocks away. I mean, this, I think, was some type of placer technology, bringing the material down into the water and processing it with water, like Placerville or other placer mining does. But then you've got what you see in Tassil Najer. Yeah, there's some water too, but it looks a little different, like they were quarrying blocks 10 meters wide. Okay, I should remove this so I'm not. But did we finish everything? The channels fill. Yeah, we finished that. Rusty. Yeah, let's get into a scientific paper about how electricity could have been used to create straight line quarry cuts in the ground. Go back to the Caltapo and look at the highest point in the Adrar Plateau. And when you zoom in, tell me what made those lines right there. Was it a laser beam? Was it a big, huge saw, like a skill saw, but large? Why would they make a cut through? You can't see it here. There's a bisection cut across this mound. There's another one across this mound. And that one aligns with this. These have them on this side of the ridge as well. You can't see them here, but if you look carefully at Google Earth, you can see them on both sides. They're easy to see on this side. They're easy to see over here, and you've got multi-directions going right there. They're easy to see. And why were they so close to this part? Or was this part of the deal? Over here, you can see the same cuts going on in here. Did they cut open a channel for water? That's on this side of the, and look at, there's a crater, Oelo crater. And when was that? Actually, that one is supposed to be older than the fall of Atlantis, but the Tenamore is aligned the Tennemore crater is aligned with the cataclysm period of time. If you don't know where the Tennemore crater is, you can actually align this one that we're just at here. Where was it? And it creates a straight line. I kind of got lost. I guess it's way down here. And it goes up through here, and then the Tennemore crater is right here. Not easy to find for some reason, but trust me, this is the best place to find it quickly. Where is it? Where is that bad boy? Tennemore crater, come on. Where is it? No? It's around here somewhere. But I was going to finish up. Let's get rid of what did I finish everything you said here? Lightning, what do we call it? Intelligent lightning. Hey, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Good to see you all tonight. I do believe that was an A sound in Russian, but it could have been the D. It's not the D, right? That's the A sound in Russia. Could be wrong. I don't speak Russian. I've seen this the shots of the sprites. I've seen the sprites where they used 1,000 frames per second cameras in airplanes and went up over and filmed storms and captured the sprites, and then they slowed them down and analyzed them. Very beautiful stuff. I think sprites are incredible. Unfortunately, I think they're totally natural, obviously, but it's something that we don't know about. And then you've got the sprites that are supposed to be like a fairy, right? So they call them sprites. Fairies that show up and... Okay, that's that one. We talked about that. Systematic strip mining on a scale beyond us to the solid rock. Yeah, or deeper. Well, here's the thing. Is it possible that the Mediterranean Sea was a strip mine? And is it possible that the lake in Peru, what's the name of this lake right here? Lake, was that possibly also a strip mine? Ancient lake, what is the name of that lake? I forgot it. Catch it. I don't know. Forgot the lake. Lots of materials. You know, there's a 1/2 gram of gold in your computer chip. So if you throw away a computer, you're throwing away a motherboard. You're throwing away 1/2 gram of gold. We should be recycling these, right? How do you do it? You watch on YouTube. You can see how to do it. Okay, so mud fossil, before Jimmy did his video in 2018-19, Mud Fossil was looking at the Eye of Africa and asking whether or not it was ancient Atlantis. So Mud Fossil is actually, before Jimmy did it, Mud Fossil did it. The dragon burning the fish by the Richat, yeah. Never was a fan of that type of theory. When you look at the topography, you don't see the dragon. Here's the dragon right here he talked about. You see it very clearly when you're in Google Earth. And he goes on to talk about mud fossil means, and by the way, I am Kairos. I think I heard you talking about mud fossils a little bit. No, Michael Tellinger points at a rock and says that could have been a bone. And yeah, there's a lot of rocks out there with fossils inside them as well. So lots of stuff could have happened. But do I believe that this was the head of a dragon that killed a fish? This does look like a fish. I think it looks like a squid. And that's the beak. And that's the eyeball. Well, whatever. But no, when you look at it under the topography, it's something different. Whoops, wrong one. This one. It looks like something different. You can see the tail of the fish. What I want to know is why those lines stopped. What happened to stop those? And yeah, I don't want to go on speculating over things. Where's all the comments at? Thank you, I am Kairos, for your comments. Rusty Utter, probably the #1 participant tonight in commenting. Getting a little tired. It's almost been 2 hours. So I am going to have an interview on Thursday night. I'll be live. You'll probably get the simulcast here, and then over on her channel. Where were we? Titicaca. Thank you. Lake Titicaca in Peru. Was it or was it not a previous strip mine? Also, I heard they found a temple at the bottom of Lake Titicaca. They call it a temple, but maybe it was just a guard shack at the bottom of the strip mine. You know? Lightning balls. Plasma gets caught between fields. Interesting. And yeah, that could cause a conflagration, like what happened in LA and what happened at the Chicago fire. Yes, you soak the pieces of, you take your CPU and you hammer the hell out of it so it breaks it up into pieces, and then you use the hydrochloric acid to get it started. And then what happens next? Watch the videos on YouTube. It looks horrible. And you definitely have to do the right setup. You can't just do one computer and become rich. How much does all that hydrochloric acid cost? How much does all that other stuff cost? All right, where are we? Oh, see, that's what happens. When it goes up, I click on the wrong one. Okay, I am Cairo says city-sized creatures. No, I didn't think you were. Michael Tellinger was. But mud fossils, I can believe in a mud fossil because that's a real thing. But when you talk about this being a dragon that, what did he do, crash? And then the blood, he talks about the blood. I couldn't quite jive with that. Where was the blood? I think that this is what he was saying was the blood right here. So where's the eyeball? You know, I guess this was the eye or the head. And by the way, remember that ancient map? We were looking at the Canary Islands, and this is that one curve that I really thought was on the Piri Reis map was proof that that line was not the Tropic of Cancer. Tropic of Cancer goes right down through here. Punta Sintra on the ancient maps. And look at the weird scan they're doing here. Why is it so different below the road? Why did they scan everything south of the road differently than they did above it? And when you back out, you can see that scan artifact. So I don't know what went up there. I don't think that a river may have come out right here. What could have caused that cape? Where did that other river come out? There was another one up above the cape. There's a lot of stuff here I want to see. There's Tumuli right here that I want to see. I want to go here. And I have to thank Anthony Trinstall for showing that to me. I think that's some of the oldest and most ancient tumuli, or eyes of Africa, as Anthony called them, the small eyes. And then there's a river. There's this river here. Actually, that might be where the tumuli are. The tumuli that he's talking about are right here. Can I find it without messing around? Ah, we're so close. Yes, it's right over here. Right here. I want to go here. There it is. I found it. I want to visit this. And the reason why is because you can see two tumuli. One antennae is here. One is here. Those don't look like burial mounds, and they're so perfect. Why is that so perfect? I want to see that rock up close. And the problem is there's the road over here. I'd have to go to this road and walk this way. Actually, there's a couple roads, so I'd have to research that all over again. But if I could go down that road and go and then continue on to get to Mauritania, I think that would be kind of cool. All right, let's get through these. Rusty Utter. The gift. What gift? Wait a minute. Did I say I was giving you a gift? Oh, the gift of thoughts. Okay. I don't know about making any painting deals yet. I need the cash, brother. Brother! Do you think the knowledge kept in all those ancient libraries was destroyed? Okay, so there's been a lot of comments, including from Jimmy and from others, talking about the true nature of the Library of Alexandria. You know, the description of this library doesn't really jive with the whole burned up things. Destroyed, maybe. Ransacked, maybe. Were the tools used in Egypt found? There's lots of stuff that's been found. Just remember, iron corrodes. So when they take a piece of iron, turn it into a tool, that piece of iron will corrode in 100 years. Maybe not. 500 years, yeah. like an engine from a vehicle, that block of iron just is gone in 500 years. So the tools that were found were not the iron ones, right? So they didn't believe that the Egyptians used iron to build the pyramids. They believe that they used copper chisels or rocks. No, I don't. We already know that's not true, right? The first piston pump was supposedly made in ancient Rome. Interesting. I had no idea. As was the aqueduct train. An aqueduct was a vehicle. I'm sorry, the train part was a vehicle in the aqueduct. I don't remember any aqueduct train. I know that, as you see in Monty Python, Life of Brian, that we can thank the Romans for the aqueducts. But I don't know about a train. Hood for ventilation. You have a hood for ventilation. Yeah, have a hood for ventilation. Which machine are we talking about? Any hood could have been made out of metals that are corrosive, decay. And of course, should I show the thing they found in the canal? I haven't even talked about the Russians much. They found that artifact in the canal that points right at the mouth of the Richat structure. And then they took pictures of that thing. That thing looks like it could have been some ancient corroded piece of metal. It looks like it's probably a wall. Okay. Yeah. What was the thing? You said have a hood. I don't know about the connection there. And I don't know. What are you talking about this? Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Where did the data that was on the Piri Reis map come from? Obviously, I think there were older maps that showed this that were taken from the Library of Alexandria and then hidden. And yeah, later on, when you try to spend that money, you got to be careful who sees it. What's this one? That's interesting looking. Hold on. This looks cool. Why is that so prominent? Is that a river? What are these circles and mounds? Mike Parker, I know you would say those are old homes that used to exist there on the plateau. Maybe not. I think that I would say that. I don't think that it's destroyed completely. That part definitely was, though. Which part? Which part? Unfortunately, I can't remember the comments, kind of the context. Can't afford the painting? You're talking about buying this painting? Don't worry, I always can paint a new painting for you. Steam level society. Okay, I see that machine. You're talking about the piston. Gotcha. Hey, Zero Control. We talked about you earlier. Everybody, do me a favor and go to at Zero Control YouTube channel and subscribe. He's been doing Google Earthing a lot more intensely than I ever have and ever will. I'm too focused on the Richat structure. Metal acid for bathing a fume hood. A fume hood. Metal acid bathing a fume hood. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be breathing that in. So in addition to the fume hood, probably had some caps to all these kivas that we're finding. I believe these stone circles. Hey, and by the way, the reason why I was just talking about Zero Control is because you're the one who showed me this structure that was right here that I called the tumuli, and I also mentioned you don't think they were tumuli at all. You think that they were for water recognition, but we always got into flying machines for that theory for me. And so for me, that must mean that there was a lot of water right here. And there's also these mountains. Oh, yeah, don't forget these mountains. I believe these are all fake. I rarely talk about that. But when you look at these mountains, you have to follow the ridge, and they go impossibly back and forth. Not here, but way up here. Way up here. There's this one line that you can follow going back and forth, back and forth. Go look at that under the topographical. We've got a few new comments. Okay, was this the last one? Okay. Lathes, computers run our civilization. Trains are made on lathes. Hey, Delia, how are you doing? Delia, look what I've got hanging behind me. Delia also is very inspired. She inspired me, I should say, as an artist. When she started painting again, and that was just before her house was hit by a train. right? Where's the birdie? Where's the birdie? You mean this duck? Thank you, Delia. Yeah, I remember, Delia, when your house was hit by a train. Wow, it does look a lot different from the beginning of the video because the sun has gone down and I didn't turn on the lights. So, yeah, it looks kind of cool in the dark here. And I did lighten it up, Delia. Is the Eagles are playing? I see you're talking football. All of what originates here? Yeah, your house was hit by a train. You never told us. You signed a DNA to get some money. That's what I concluded, because you never talked about it afterwards, but you're still mad about something. So whoops, there we are. You signed a DNA to get a little money, but unfortunately they didn't give you all the money or something. I don't know. You never told me. And that's it, guys. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to continue to look at the chats. And let's take this off. Yeah, I don't have any money either, Delia. That's why I'm asking everybody for a $5 to $10 donation. Where I stand financially. First of all, let's go over the good news. Delia, you just got here. I am Kairos. You just got here. Did you hear me say I have informally been invited to go speak at Cosmic Summit 2025 this June 20th to the 23rd. What you can do is reach out to George Howard and say, hey, I heard that Stig might be on the show. Thank you for putting him on there. I think it's a great thing. Yeah, no money. Oh, you want to buy this? Okay. Well, you know me. I'm going to paint a new one. Delia, you saw what I painted the last time before I went to Omaha, Nebraska. I took those two paintings out there. Rusty Etter, nice to see you all. We got a lot of new comments. Thank you, Mike. You made a sign for your new channel, but nowhere is cool. Well, I don't want to tell you all the secrets in the live on how I got these colors. I think Delia can look at this and knows how I applied the colors very easily. Delia, go ahead and write down the tool you think that I used to make. I can't move. I'm not going to move the camera to get it closer, but how you think I applied colors. Obviously, I use brushes or for a straight line, but most of that is, yeah, yay. Let's do one chat at a time. Thanks again, Mike Partner. Mike, you've donated so much. I always have to give you credit for some of the memes I've created and the proportion of Atlantis compared to the Richat structure and how spot on it is. Spot on is not an American term. Thanks for the video and congrats on the Cosmic Summit. Thank you. Looking forward to watching it. Yeah, well, you know, I do still have to get the formal invite, and I don't want to make promises. Like, for example, I promised that I was going to go to the Richat structure in January, and then it got delayed to February, and now it might get delayed a few days later now. I just found out. So we'll worry about that as it happens. There's a new tour scheduled for November. I should show that link, but I'm just going to talk about it, and I'll share it. Go to those guys, the Russians. They have the tour link. And how can I show that to you without navigating away and getting into trouble? I think I can grab it like right here. Yeah, here we go. All right. So we got this link for that new tour, November 12th. And I am going to participate on that. We're focusing on getting... Oh, I'm not showing you the screen. Let me add it back to the stage. Let me get rid of this. Definitely going to go back there when I start back up. You can see the website is... I'm going to put it down in the chat so you can see this tour. Copy and paste. South Africa. The canals in South Africa are more like roads. Oh, there you go. So there's the link for the new tour in November. Now, these guys have not paid me a dime. So anything can happen. Definitely keep in touch with me. If you join that tour to be with me, then you better confirm with me that I'm still joining the tour. And when you give them, actually what I believe is you're going to give me, if you're going to join this tour, the way I've worked it with these guys is if you're going to go with the English tour, your deposit will go to me directly. And yeah, you have to be careful. Am I going to run away with it? No. I've already been given $700 in donations on my GoFundMe, Where's my GoFundMe? Let's talk about that next. The GoFundMe has 7. And by the way, Mike Parker, thank you for your donation. Oh, wow. I've got to log in. Let me take that off the screen while I do all that. And oh, now I've got to verify my device. I'm not doing that right now. You can trust me when I tell you that I've already gotten donations. Mike Parker, you were so kind to donate. And yeah, Delia, I know you don't have money to donate. I know that I didn't ask you to donate, but if you think I'm implying you should donate, no. I know later on down the line, if I get desperate, I'm going to keep this GoFundMe going. I haven't been paid by the Russians. If I suddenly run out of money in the middle of the trip, you know where I'm heading. I'm going over to the Giant's Quarry that I just showed. And yeah, if you help me out right away, let me just put it this way. Mike, you saw it. I gave everybody the direct links to the books that I've already written in my previous life when I lived in Taiwan. Those books are available for everybody. Oh, really? I'm really sorry to hear that. Oh my gosh. I thought you weren't talking about it because you did get some money, but you couldn't disclose how much. Sorry to hear that. That's sad news. That's sad news to me. I'm really sorry. That sucks. That really sucks. Anyways, Delia, let's keep on painting. You can go to my website, davidstighansen.com. That link is down below. It should be down below. I got to make sure I put that in the new description. But it has all my paintings from the last 30 years, missing a few. Most of those paintings, practically all of them, are not existent anymore. Wow, look how dark it got. I guess I'm going to have to, let's just get me off the stage and put this up full size since it's so dark. We need to finish this up. I've already hit 2 hours. Sorry about the secrets. I'm sorry if I gave out secrets. If I did give out any secrets, not just you, but if I've doxed anybody accidentally, I can always remove that from the video. And I promise right after this is over, I will stop the video from being seen if it's that important to you. Or I'll clip the part out. What's going on here? Okay, you can't see that? Oh, it can? Okay. Yes, South Africa. They're not really canals as much. I can get into that in a different one. That's me. Please sub this guy. I do sometimes think, especially the ones in South Africa, these so-called ridges were ancient roads more than canals, but they were like a single. I mean, we're talking about Fantasyland, guys. I speculate a lot on what they were, but they go over all the time. Mike Parker, you live right there. I can get you there. We should talk on how you and I can meet in the Richat structure in November. I don't want to be a double agent, if you will, but I'm going to just be honest. I do probably have someone coming with me this trip, and I have to explain very clearly to the Russians that it wasn't a double agent action. You know, it's not on their tour. It's on my other thing. It's not going to be a week long when I go to the Giant's Quarry. I'm going to be there 1 day only. 1 day only. You're kidding about the secrets. Good. I'm glad. The painting secrets. Oh, don't give away secrets. Well, I think the biggest secret is one that I won't give away. But let's just be honest. This painting that you can't see it because I'm not showing my face anymore is it's a work in progress. If I don't sell it, I will keep working on it. The changes I made between the first one I showed you, Delia, when I gave you an image, you can already see them in this painting. Let's start to get out of here, guys. It's been 2 hours. Last chance for some comments. Delia, you've been a fan many years. Thank you so much for joining. Mike Parker, you have given so much in our private conversations and in your public conversations. One thing I'm looking for, I don't know if you're still in the room. I am Kairos. Where's your comment? I'm looking for it. Before I go, everybody, Zero, thank you so much for all the things you've given me. In fact, when we talk about the canals in Zero Control's video, he's the one who He made me look that direction. He's the one who pointed me in that direction. I am Kairos. We were together. You showed me those walls in California and opened my eyes to so many things in California. And that's what the interview is going to be about on the 13th, on Thursday at 6 p.m. I'll simulcast it on my channel. I'm going to talk all about those walls. I'll be talking about you. And you get a lot of great shout outs, don't you? Where's your see, I'm not showing the right thing. You get a lot of good shout outs from what's his name? I was going to tell you again, but I'm sure you watch all his stuff. What's his name? Forgot his name right now because I wasn't prepared. Let's go back to the bottom. Flare Snare. You finding the end. I'm going to be streaming on Thursday. It's going to be an interview. I'll probably be doing a couple streams before that. I'm going to be streaming as much as possible. Now I'm looking at the live on the where is it? This is StreamYard, and I'm looking at it. The little thing is gone now. The strength of the stream is improved, I guess. When it was low, it showed it. Now it's not showing it. Exit full screen layout. I don't know about all that. I'm about to get out of here. So, yes. Well, that's because I think it's important. Thank you. By the way, let's go back and make sure you can definitely, you're at the tail end of a 2-hour stream. So please do join us. We talked about so many things. I've been invited to Cosmic Summit. We've scheduled a second tour. I've got the painting behind me that I'm trying to sell. Mike Parker, thank you so much for you. And well, when I steal your memes, when I steal your images that you share with me, I think the least I can do is put your name on it. And that one that you provided, I've shown several times. It's in my main presentation. Today was more about maps. Look at the lines you see when you come way out here. You see a line going this direction, right? You see a line that I see in the ancient maps, this line right here. What's all about that line right there? Why is it connected to mountains? Could this ridge be part of an ancient terraforming? And you follow this line and it keeps going down to the upside down Homer Simpson. You get another line that seems to be going in this direction were those canals as well? And when you talk about a aqueduct train, I'm very interested in seeing what that means, because the aqueduct train here, I'm going to see if I can get myself back into the picture. When you talk about the aqueduct train, so you can kind of see the image behind me. We've had a lot of viewers consistently, more than 20 this whole time. And that's what you get when you do a 2-hour. And I'm actually happy there weren't any super chats. Why? Because those of you who are thinking about doing a super chat, it would be better and more constructive to donate to the GoFundMe. Or if you want me to get more of the money, PayPal. I'm pretty sure that's the best way. If you're serious about giving me large amounts of money, all those platforms that I use, especially YouTube. YouTube takes a good 20%, 30%, I heard. What is this thing right here? I think this ridge had to do with an ancient canal system now. And don't get me started on my other new theory. I had another new theory that I don't share much. I forgot what it was right now, but I just have to have that memory card or whatever to see it. Guys, we're almost out of here. Thanks again, everybody. I'm totally in the dark now, aren't I? So and by the way, if you saw that one video I did looking at stars, I had a lot of people give me private, what are you doing? You threatened that. Somebody commented, oh, wow, this helps. This is just me changing. See, this is why I usually change my display to white background, so it shows my face a little bit better. View the colors, change it to white. Done. Did that help? No, because I didn't close that window. There we go. Did that help? So I've got a big screen over here, and it shows a little bit more of the painting behind me. Guys, let's see if we have any last-minute comments. Flare Snare says, thank you. I'll rewatch the stream from the beginning. That it would be the best thing to do if you have a couple of hours to kill. Everybody, Y'all have a nice night. I'm out of here. Thanks again. Let's see if we can get that. No music. I'm just done. Live streams are going to be ended quickly like this. Y'all have a good one. Good night, y'all. Thanks again. Let's get that outro